When a player wins Rookie of the Year, it means they came straight into the league and dominated without having much of an adjustment period. But in Garrett Wilson's rookie year, he not only dominated the league, but all other rookies as well, as he led rookies in receptions and receiving yards. Wilson's great year might have been overshadowed by all the other storylines happening in New York regarding their quarterback situation and the emergence of Sauce Gardner. But when we cut on the tape, it's clear Garrett Wilson is truly him. In his rookie season, Garrett Wilson surpassed 100 yards in 3 games, and we'll use those 3 games to break down some of his best plays. Here on this first play, it isn't anything fancy by Garrett Wilson here lined up in a one-on-one situation. But sometimes that's the beauty of the NFL. It isn't about being pretty or fancy, it's about running your route, getting the correct depth, and getting open. This play shows the significance of having a great receiver on your side, because the Vikings are lined up in cover 1, so teams will usually run crossing routes against man coverage to cause some kind of confusion. But the route isn't the impressive part, it's the yards after catch and the amount of defenders he made miss, and had he not stepped out of bounds, it would have been an amazing touchdown. And another beauty from Garrett Wilson, because I wouldn't technically classify this as open. And if we rewind it just a little bit, we see Joe Flacco's eyes immediately go to the left, so that indicates to the defense he wants to throw the ball that way. And as he rifles his pass downfield, Garrett is able to hold on to the ball despite being hit as soon as he caught it. Garrett Wilson turned in a stellar rookie season, finishing up with 83 receptions for 1,103 yards, which was 15th in the NFL, while also averaging 13 yards per catch and adding another 4 touchdowns onto that. His 1,103 yards were also the most by a Jets rookie in franchise history. But there are several things he did well all season, as he finished with at least 1 catch in all 17 games, while also exceeding 50 yards in 10 out of the 17 games. But if those numbers don't make him a clear-cut wide receiver 1 to you, hopefully these will. Garrett Wilson finished as the team's leader in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. Essentially, all this team's passing went through Garrett Wilson, and he added at least 89 yards 7 times, and one of those times being against the Cleveland Browns. Every video, there seems to be a team exposing a defense as cover 2, so I'm not sure why it's ran as often as it is in the NFL. But the Jets are the newest team to be added to that list. And in cover 2, we know the priority is to put the corner in a tough situation and throw the ball to whichever receiver he doesn't cover. Simple. And as this play develops, you can see the running back come out of the backfield, which will now hold the corner since somebody's in his zone. But the route from Garrett Wilson is what's really going to steal the show. And anytime you can get a DB to flip his hips, you've won. And here Garrett Wilson sets up this outbreaking route by first stemming it inside before breaking hard back outside and creating clear separation. But it's one thing to get open when you have 70 yards of open field to work with, but in the red zone, that's where things get interesting. Less space, less time, more efficiency. And here Garrett Wilson's lined up on the wide side of the field, and he's running this goal line fade. But another commonly ran route in the red zone is a slant. So he sets this up by faking the inside release, which automatically makes the defender jump inside and opens this fade right up for an easy touchdown. Here on another cover 2 beater, but this play really shows the vacancy that cover 2 allows, with openings in the flats, behind the corners, and right behind the linebackers as well. And this is a great hole shot by Joe Flacco, because even though these linebackers are going to be dropping back, your receiver is usually faster than these linebackers. So it's great timing by Joe of throwing this ball before he even clears the linebackers and letting Garrett do the rest. Garrett Wilson's rookie season was nothing short of phenomenal, as the Jets picked a playmaker who did more than contribute as a rookie, and the result was Wilson winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. What's even more impressive is that the Jets played 3 different quarterbacks this season, but somehow, no matter who stepped on the field, they all found number 17. Because there's no way with all the movement at the quarterback spot that he should have surpassed 1,000 yards in his rookie season. One of Garrett Wilson's best attributes is his yards after the catch. He routinely turns small gains into bigger ones, and at least left one defender every play shell-shocked on how he got out of his tackle. Wilson led all rookies with 411 yards after the catch, 179 more than the next closest receiver, while also having 22 missed tackles after a reception, which was second in the NFL only behind Deebo Samuel. And that's great company to be in, considering he's only entering his second season. Wilson's elite quickness and speed allowed him to destroy defenses all season, and his ability to run sharp routes and create separation from defenders also made Garrett must-see television this season. And in his final game over 100 yards, he finished with 115 yards, but one reception was 54 yards, so the 115 yards total could be a bit deceiving. But the versatility is what stands out to me here on this play, as the Jets run a jet sweep, which did count for 24 receiving yards for Garrett Wilson also. But the real play is this 54-yard bomb to Garrett Wilson. Here the Patriots are in cover 2, and they actually defended the play pretty well initially. But as Garrett Wilson turns around to look for the ball, he sees his quarterback leaving the pocket. So Wilson turns into scramble mode trying to help his quarterback and turns this route upfield. And the safety who would be over there follows this inside breaking route, and by the time he breaks off to get back into his zone, this ball is already in the air for Garrett Wilson. Now, Rookie of the Year, the Silent One, Mr. Do-It-All, or Aaron's new favorite target, whatever you want to call him, just make sure we put more respect on Garrett Wilson's name. And do you think he'll continue his dominant play heading into his second season, or will he suffer from the sophomore slump? And if you want to see more Jets content, be sure to check this video out as well, as it's all about this young Jets team. Peace.